Hi there, and welcome back to the PAAR Presidential Update Podcast. I'm Molly Hohrein, your 2026 PAAR President.
And I'm Cooper Anderson, your 2026 President-elect. And today we'd like to welcome our guest speaker, Skye Direen from Pioneer Title. Hi, Skye. Tell us about yourself. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Well, I've been around for a while. I think most people know. I've been in the real estate industry for about 20 years, give or take, doing something. And I joined Pioneer last year, and that was about the best thing I ever did.
That's amazing. That's wonderful. Thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you here today, and we have some great questions to ask you.
So one of the biggest questions, especially for people maybe new to our industry, new realtors, a big question that people wonder about is, what does a title officer actually do for realtors specifically?
So we've got a few different roles within our industry. So the title officer is the one that does the behind the scenes research, make sure that the title is clear before it transfers into the new buyer's name. So that's kind of the behind the scenes piece. And then you've got your escrow officer that the agents and the clients and the lender, really all parties, escrow officer is that poor monkey in the middle that has to deal with everybody, and they do a wonderful job with grace. So they're the ones holding the transaction together. And then you have people like myself, these marketing reps that you can't get away from. But our goal really, truly is to help increase realtors' business in any way that we can through help with marketing, brainstorming, role-playing, whatever our agents need to be successful, because when our agents are successful, so are we.
Great. That's awesome. So question back about the title officer.
Mm-hmm.
So for a newer agent that is not sure, what does that mean? Like, give an example of you're looking at a title report, and what did the title officer come up about this property that needs to be kind of looked at a little bit further?
Yeah, so something that comes up a lot is easements, legal access, things like that, right? It's one thing for somebody to buy a property, but they need to actually be able to legally drive onto their own property. Those aren't problems that come up all the time, but they're certainly important. Or earlier in the process, if we've got a buyer's agent that's working with clients, having us pull CC&Rs in advance before they even write an offer, so they know, can their client wash their car in the driveway because they're a classic car buff, and that's really important to them. So it's really
I know one that it's like grazing rights. Grazing rights is probably, I'm like, what? There's cattle that can go across my property? Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Great for to your taxes.
I was about to say.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So it's really just, use us early in the process before anyone's under contract to help you and help your clients make sure that they're making informed decisions. That's what we're there for.
Good. What is it like to work with us as realtors? Any dirt you can dig up or offer us?
So I've made this joke before, so you're going to have to hear it again. So just pretend and giggle and pretend I'm funny with my dad jokes. So I always joke that I have so much hair because that's where all the secrets are.
I love that.
Oh, that was good. You acted like you never heard that joke before.
See, you need to have the thing go off. Just kidding.
But no, I mean, it's a blast. And what's so fun is that almost every agent is from a different walk of life, from a different career background. And as cheesy as it sounds, I genuinely love people, and I love learning about their stories and helping them leverage their prior experience in their new career. And so to me, it's just a blast. It really is.
Fantastic. An example of where you don't necessarily need to use title during the actual closing process is when I was a brand new realtor, I had a friend who had a landlocked parcel, 20 acres in the middle of a ranch, and the rancher was denying access. So he was like, what do I do with this piece of property? I was able to get him in touch with someone from a title company. They worked through whatever, I don't know exactly what happened at the end of the day, but they were actually able to walk him through what his options were, all that sort of stuff. So to your point, absolutely reach out beforehand. Find out what can and can't be done sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit, Skye, about maybe something that was like one of the most rewarding things that you've ever done in title.
Well, that's a great question. It's hard to pick out a very specific instance because it's been a long time. But I really think just the way a lot of my agents have learned to come to me when they have a challenge that they're facing and they feel like I'm a trusted resource and a confidant, and they can talk things through with me without it going elsewhere, it's just a really critical role to play in somebody's business and life, and it really means a lot to me. So that's not a specific, sorry, but that's a role I get to play, and it means a lot.
Yeah, no, I really like that. We all need that one person, right, that we can go to that we know is a trusted, reliable, knowledgeable source to help us navigate things that might be new for us.
Yeah. And I try to point them in the right direction and find a resource and find a solution, and that's really fun.
Yeah.
One of the other things I would love for you to talk about is new agents and how the whole process works for escrow. What does an escrow officer do? What is their role? And I mean, we've talked about what your role is, but what is the escrow officer's role?
Yeah. So, I mean, when I meet with a new agent, I love to meet with new agents and really explain escrow and title to them, because it's really unfamiliar. Even if you've bought and sold properties before,
100%. Yep, I agree.
your interaction level is, so long as everything goes smoothly, you don't talk to us that much. But the escrow officer is, we always say they are instruction followers. So that's, at the end of the day, that's that, but that's really not. That's not all it is. They do a lot more than that.
So much more than that.
But they follow the contract, and that's their first set of instructions. And then they follow the title report, and that's their second set. But they coordinate with all parties involved in the transaction. So they guide the buyer through their part of the process. They send out opening paperwork. They order the HOA documents. They order the title report. They coordinate with the lender and provide the lender the items that they need on their end to facilitate things. They take care of the seller and figure out how they're going to receive proceeds. They set up signings. We chase, mobile notaries all over the country.
And if there is an issue with the title report, they work on that with the title officer to get that
do.
resolved.
Yes, they do. They try to problem solve and figure out a solution, and then come to the parties. And so they do a lot. Escrow is a hard job. It takes a calm, incredibly organized human being who is also really friendly and good with people. I would want to talk about our interoffice signing agreement, though, just because we're talking about escrow and how the process moves. So we have over 70 branches in Arizona, Pioneer Title does. We are privately owned, and we're just in Arizona, but we've taken really great care of our smaller communities, so we're just literally everywhere. And one of the things that means a lot to me about how we run things is we have an interoffice signing agreement. So if you have a client in another area of the state, our branch will take that signing, accommodate the client. And if for some reason our staff is not available when they need to sign, we cover the cost of a mobile notary.
Wow, that's great.
That was not always the case in
good to
my
know.
previous career. And that means a lot to me, that we really take care of people.
Yeah, fantastic. I think a great way to think about title agents is project managers.
Yes.
And without them, right? 'Cause
Totally.
You move all those pieces together in concert, and it's just so important.
Okay, I'm going to stop saying instruction takers. I'm going to start calling them project managers. Thank you, Cooper.
100%. Well, I mean, really,
That's much better.
That's what makes sense to me, for sure. Well, Skye, let's talk a little bit about fraud and the title company's role in helping to prevent fraud in all aspects of the process.
Yeah, so it's a pretty big deal, right? Both wire and deed fraud is just becoming more and more common, and we catch up on things as an industry, as a society, regulatory authorities, and then the fraudsters get smart and they find another way. But nonetheless, the goal is always to try to stay one step in front of them. So let's talk about wire fraud first, perhaps. So we use a third party called Certified. They're a very well-renowned partner in the industry to send out wiring instructions. A portion of those funds are insured. The client can purchase additional insurance from Certified if they choose to, but it is a very secure portal. And really the most important thing is just the communication piece, right? Our escrow officers call. They warn the clients about title fraud. They go through, this is who you're going to receive the instructions from. If it doesn't look right, please call and verify. In real estate, we move really fast. There is this extreme sense of urgency all the time. And that's when mistakes happen. That's when fraud can happen. Not that it can't happen otherwise, but it really is about slowing down, double checking the details, making an extra phone call, and making sure things are, as they should be. So that's kind of the wire fraud piece. And I've got a couple other things to say on that, and then we'll turn to deed fraud for a second. So it is a requirement on our title commitment when it comes out that non-owner occupied properties, we send out a verification to the owners of record to make sure, hey, you're actually selling this property, right? And sometimes we get contacted and no, they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
then,
really good. I did not know that, so that's good to know.
yeah, that was implemented, I don't know how long ago now, but it's becoming more common in the industry for that to be a requirement on the title commitment. And that is something I would ask the title company that you're working with to make sure that that's something that they're doing as a regular practice, because it is really a key piece in preventing fraud. Now, should fraud actually occur or should we suspect it, Pioneer Title actually has a dedicated fraud team. It's ran by our internal attorney. He's a very, very brilliant guy. He should be probably the one on this podcast. Maybe we'll arrange that at a future date. But we will help our clients work through a fraud situation should it occur, try to make them whole if at all possible, help them coordinate with the appropriate authorities. And that is something we will do both inside and outside of escrow, which to me means a lot. So it's not just it's not just when we have business to gain or a profit to make. It's because we're trying to protect people and do the right thing.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, sorry, that was a mouthful. That was a lot.
No, that was invaluable information. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming in today and being a guest on our podcast. And I want to take a moment. Now is the time to remind everyone that is listening that you too can be a guest on this podcast. All you have to do is fill out the podcast request from the link in the description.
Absolutely, Molly. We'd like to have some more guests come on in and join us and give us some insights into their portion of our industry. But before we let you go, we have a couple announcements to share. First and foremost, we would like to invite you all to the Realtor Connect. That happens every Tuesday at the PAAR office. If you haven't heard about it, we have a guest speaker every single week to just talk about what's going on in the industry. It's a chance for all the realtors to come together, kind of network a little bit, and hear some great information. But anyways, we'd encourage you to show up for the Realtor Connect every Tuesday, PAAR office, and we'll see you there.
Yeah, the Realtor Connect is one of the best ways that we can all network with one another and stay connected with everyone that's involved in our association. So if you're looking for ways to network, you may also be interested in the YPN Summer Kickoff Cornhole Tournament tomorrow, June 17th from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Jasper J Club. So YPN has planned an evening of friendly competitions, summer fun, networking, and a chance to win some awesome prizes. We'll also have Caring Partners raffle for a chance to win a paddleboard, woohoo, and a Yeti cooler summer package. Did you see that set up in the PAAR office? It's pretty amazing. So grab your teammates, bring your competitive spirit, and kick off summer with the YPN.
I mean, who doesn't love cornhole? That'll
Correct.
be fun.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And remember, you don't have to be 20 to join.
No, you just have to be young at heart.
I keep telling myself that every year when February rolls around. I'm still young at heart. Another announcement we want to share is that PAAR is currently hosting Stars and Stripes and 250 Bites. 250 because we're 250 years old. Let's remind everyone. It's
Yep. Coming up.
As part of our Community Cupboard Challenge. PAAR is challenging members to help collect 250 of each item featured. Each week, a new item will be highlighted. For example, this week's featured item is canned vegetable.
All
Exciting.
of our favorites, right?
Mushy peas. No, they're not mushy anymore. If you bring in 5 or more items, you'll receive a raffle ticket for a chance to win. And backed by popular demand, the coffee cart. We all love our morning coffee. Early risers and not so early risers. But if you'd rather make a cash donations, we are happy to take those as well if you don't have time to actually go out to the market and pick anything up. Donations can be dropped off at the PAAR office. You can see where it's at right there in the front. There's a massive table. All food collected will benefit the Community Cupboard Food Bank. Thank you guys so much for donating.
Yeah, what a great cause to be a part of. Another opportunity PAAR is offering members is our Wrapped in Love Wrapping Day. So join us at the PAAR office for Wrapping Day to support Wrapped in Love, a nonprofit organization dedicated to bringing comfort and care to those in need. The event will take place at the PAAR office, like I said, on Tuesday, July 14th from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Volunteers are needed to help wrap and prepare items that will be distributed to the community, and no special needs are required, but you have to have the ability to laugh and have a lot of fun because it's just one big party.
So if I can't wrap packages very well, that's okay. I can come anyway. Someone will walk me
I'll show
through
you
it.
how to do that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, listen, we have a ton going on. We hope you've heard something today that was really informative from Skye. I know I learned actually a little bit about fraud there, which is fantastic. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you all next time.